The Marquette County Road Commission is fined.
And the American Civil Liberties Union requests an investigation. I'm Caitlin Connon.
And I'm Callie Mouse, and this is your Public Eye News at 4. County Road Commission will pay the Huron Mountain Club nearly $141,000 in a lawsuit damages agreement involving abandonment of a segment of Marquette County Road KK and an associated bridge over the Salmon Trout River. In June of 2010, the ruling was made that the Road Commission's abandonment process was flawed and the agency still retained the road over the bridge. Attorneys for the club could not appeal the prior decision until the damages portion was resolved. In the settlement, the Road Commission will pay $506 in fees and expenses and $140,000 to the club. The Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the Road Commission, and the club could seek to take the issue to the Michigan Supreme Court. The Negaunee City Police Department is investigating a single-vehicle fatal traffic crash that was reported this morning along Marquette County Road 492. Terrence James Lyons, 46 of Ishpeming, was pronounced dead at the scene after many resuscitation attempts were made. The crash was reported at 11 a.m. and occurred about 3/4 of a mile west of Forge Road. Lyons, who was the driver and sole occupant of a 1995 Mitsubishi Montero, went off the road north and then proceeded to roll his vehicle over, where he was then ejected. He later was transported to Marquette General Hospital, and the investigation is still underway.
The American Civil Liberties Union asked state police to investigate allegations that a trooper contacted immigration officials unnecessarily. Presumably, the trooper contacted immigration officials after detaining a U.S. citizen of Mexican descent who speaks limited English. Trebicero Braceno of Grand Rapids was stopped on February 8th by a trooper in Livonia. The trooper allegedly refused to believe that Braceno is a U.S. citizen even after seeing a valid chauffeur's license. The ACLU says a police report backs Braceno's claims. They asked for an investigation and an apology to Braceno. A new medical study about ibuprofen and aspirin was published today. According to the study, an aspirin a day can prevent cancer and the effects can show up in 2 to 3 years. The studies by researchers at Oxford University also show that aspirin reduces the likelihood that cancers will metastasize. Ibuprofen has been shown to reduce the side effects associated with altitude sickness, according to a study by the Stanford University School of Medicine.
The Little Traverse Bay Bands of Ottawa Indians Tribal Council is considering a constitutional amendment that would recognize same-sex marriages. The Petoskey News Review and WPBN-TV report the American Indian tribe would be the first in Michigan and among few nationwide to legalize gay marriages if the amendment is adopted. The proposal is currently is in a public comment period. The current tribal constitution defines marriage as between one man and one woman. An early start to the spring wildfire season has come to Wisconsin this year. The Department of Natural Resources has issued a high fire danger alert for most of the central and eastern half of the state. DNR Wildlife Prevention Specialist Catherine Cole says the fire danger warnings usually start in the southern Wisconsin and spread north as the snow melts. With the sudden snow melt this year, the fire danger has started throughout the state. Firefighters so far have responded to 160 wildfires on more than 300 acres of DNR protected land. And after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Next time on the PBS Arts Fall Festival. From the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's the Women Who Rock. With Cyndi Lauper, Bonnie Raitt, Chrissy Hine, and many more. Next time on the PBS Arts Fall Festival, Women Who Rock.
Friday evening at 9 on Public TV 13.
And welcome back. A boulder that broke free from a hillside in Ohio crushed 2 vehicles, smashed part of a house, knocked down utility poles, and damaged an underground water line. The boulder was about 25 feet in diameter. No one was injured when it fell around 10:30 yesterday evening. The family living in the house was home, but in an unaffected area of the house. The residents of the neighboring home have been evacuated until the hillside can be determined safe. And there's a little good news and a little bad news for our economic standing in the United States, but Europe is experiencing a bit of a scare. Alexis Christoforous has more.
The National
Maybe.
Home sales fell unexpectedly last month. The National Association of Realtors says existing home sales slipped about 1% in February after climbing nearly 6% the prior month. But the overall sales pace for the winter season was the best in 5 years. Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke says the European economic crisis is not over yet. He told lawmakers on Capitol Hill today that the Fed is ready to help Europe if the situation there worsens. European leaders gave Greece a second bailout package this week, but some of Greece's creditors remain concerned that the country's cost-cutting measures aren't enough to lower its debt. Hewlett-Packard says it will combine its printing and PC divisions to save money. The move comes at a time when sales of printers and ink are falling and PC sales are hurting as more people buy tablets and smartphones. The rising price of oil could make flying more expensive this year. According to a trade association, airlines could lose more than $5 billion if oil prices spike to $150 a barrel. They're currently at a 9-month high of $107 a barrel. Experts say airlines are expected to raise ticket prices to offset a drop in profits due to those rising jet fuel costs. And that's your Money Watch. For more, simply go to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York.
Stanford, Florida, outrage over the killing of an unarmed teen ripped nationwide as supporters plan more protests Wednesday. And a petition demanding the shooter's arrest assembled nearly 1 million signatures. Tavon Martin was fatally shot February 26 while walking to the house of his father's fiancée after a trip to the convenience store. George Zimmerman, 28, a neighborhood watch leader, said he killed the teen in self-defense. Zimmerman's father said his son never followed or confronted the teen, but the 911 recordings tell a different story. During the 911 call, Zimmerman said that he was following Martin, and the dispatcher told him that he did not need to do that. In this case, the Stand Your Ground law is now undergoing serious review due to the self-defense plea. And police in France say they have cornered the suspect of Monday's deadly shooting at a Jewish school. CBS's Tina Kraus has more.
Police teams are preparing to storm an apartment building in the city of Toulouse to capture a suspected killer. They've been locked in a tense standoff with Mohamed Merah, who shot at them earlier this morning. Police say the 24-year-old Frenchman drove to a local Jewish school on his motorcycle Monday and killed teacher Jonathan Sadler, his 2 young sons, and a little girl. Hundreds of mourners gathered in Jerusalem to bury the victims. The French foreign minister flew to Israel for the funeral, and he vowed the country would fight hate crimes. President Nicolas Sarkozy, who's running for re-election in 5 weeks, said France must remain united. Police believe Merah also murdered 3 French soldiers at an ATM earlier this month and again escaped on a motorcycle. France's interior minister says the suspect claims to have connections to al-Qaeda. He says Merah was reportedly seeking payback for the killing of Palestinian children in the Middle East and the French army's involvement in Afghanistan. Afghan authorities say Merah was arrested for bomb making in Kandahar 5 years ago, but escaped in 2008 during a Taliban prison break. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
An Australian mountaineer who was left for dead at the summit of Everest in 2006 died of cancer today. Lincoln Hall died in a Sydney hospital today, a year after being diagnosed with mesothelioma. Hall had been exposed to asbestos while working in construction earlier in his life. Hall had reached the peak of Everest in 2006, but became ill during the descent due to oxygen deprivation. His guides helped him initially, but left him to save their own lives. Hall was found later by Daniel Mazur, who said he was sitting up and coherent enough to make jokes. And after the break, we'll have your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
On High School Bowl this week, our first game is between the Gwynn Model Towners and the Sault Ste. Marie Blue Devils. We are going to wrap up the Cerebral 16 round this week, so don't miss these final games of this round. The second game this week is between the Bessemer Speed Boys and the Negaunee Miners. Please join us for High School Bowl.
And welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Tony Wallen here with your sports. It's been a beautiful day today, kind of, with some wind and record highs in select areas of the UP. Currently looking at your current conditions, it is 79 degrees in right now. It's winds at south at 17 miles an hour and 29.98 on barometric pressure, holding steady. Looking tonight, isolated thunderstorms, low of 52 with winds northwest at 8 miles an hour. Looking into tomorrow, some showers, high of 59 with winds at northeast at 10 miles an hour. Looking around the UP right now, it is 77 here in Sault Ste. Marie, 59 in Manistee. Record today in Escanaba, 66. Record in Menominee with 81, 78 in Iron Mountain, another record, 66 here in Ironwood, 66 in Houghton, and 79 degrees here in Marquette. Looking ahead to the rest of your week, on Friday is a high of 55, low of 47 with some thunder showers. On Saturday, a high of 54, low of 44 with more showers. And on Sunday, a high of 54, low of 41 with partly cloudy skies. So, John, what's this I hear about another shakeup here in Denver?
That's right, Tony. There's a lot going on. I'm Jen Young with your sports. The Denver Broncos made a splash when they signed Peyton Manning yesterday. Today, it was the New York Jets' turn. The Broncos and Jets completed a deal that will send star quarterback Tim Tebow to the New York Jets this season. The Jets sent over a 4th and 6th round pick for the quarterback, who they took the NFL by storm last season. Many were surprised by the Jets trade, considering that they just signed starting quarterback Mark Sanchez to a 3-year, $40 million contract extension. Tebow is expected to fill the backup role, and although some think he would be a better starter than Sanchez. Not all the Jets players are excited about the move. Starting quarterback Antonio Cromartie tweeted before the trade, "We don't need Tebow." Other teams that wanted Tebow included the Dolphins, Patriots, and Packers. In NBA news, the Lakers have picked up the 2012-2013 option on star center Andrew Bynum's contract. Bynum will get paid $16.4 million next season, which is third most in the Lakers, behind Kobe Bryant and Paul Gasol. The 24-year-old center is putting up a career-high 18 points and 13 rebounds per game. The Lakers drafted Bynum directly out of high school in 2005 in hopes that he could develop into the next dominant big man in the NBA. He has shown some signs of being a superstar, but has battled a series of knee injuries in his short career. Bynum, whose name has often been mentioned in trade talks, was named to the Western Conference starting center in the All-Star game this year. Many Lakers fans expect that Paul Gasol will be traded in the offseason, as his production has decreased this season. The Sweet 16 is set, and there's no shortage of excitement. Tomorrow, 4 teams will move on to the Elite 8, with the next 4 to be determined on Friday. All 4 number 1 seeds are still alive, and tomorrow, 2 of those seeds, Michigan State and Syracuse, will be put to the test. The Spartans face off with 4-seeded Louisville. Syracuse will hope to keep their dance alive against 4-seeded Wisconsin. 4 Big Ten teams are looking to make their way to the Elite 8. Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio State, and MSU will look to give the Big Ten its first national championship since the Spartans did it in 2000. All 4 Big Ten teams are at least a 4-seed or higher. MSU is looking to make their 4th Final Four in the last 8 years.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good time for March Madness right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that crazy stuff going on with brackets and Missouri going down.
Yeah, Duke, Missouri, Michigan, definitely. I don't think anyone could have guaranteed that or predicted that at all.
Yeah, man, and Tebow even.
Well, that's all we have for you today. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 with your Public Eye News.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.